it 3 times now.
I'm not filming this again.
Hey au pairs, I'm Edwina.
And I'm Hannah. Today
we are talking about can you have a second job as an au pair? So can you have a second job as an au pair?
Yes, you can.
And we both did. We both have had second jobs.
In our second years.
In our second years. Because I think the first year it's a bit overwhelming. You're in a totally new country. Well, for a lot of people it's their first time doing any kind of nanny work, so it's kind of the only thing you can think about, and it's exhausting mentally and physically in the beginning.
But after you've settled into a routine, you can start looking for a second job, and it's great having a second job because then you get second money. So I worked as a freelance writer for the second year and found that work online. So my host family would let me work and sometimes even work when I was looking after the kid. And you were?
I had a couple second jobs as an au pair. My first year, toward the end of my year, I found online work. I worked remotely for a company in the States. I did that during my free time, which you have a lot of, and I think that's why it's such a great thing to be able to have a second job as an au pair, because your hours are weird. You work only at night, so during the day you have something to occupy your time if you're not, you know, if your friends are all busy and stuff.
As well as that though, it's nice to be able to have time to look for a job and not stress about not having a place to live. If I was unemployed for a long time, I think I would au pair again, just to have that security to then look for a second job and then continue my second job.
To be searching for
time,
things. As a second year au pair, during the day I worked as a barista in a cafe in Paris, and then at night I was an au pair / babysitter.
I also during my second year became an English teacher and a babysitter for a few kids like on the block. I just became the babysitter, so they'd all phone me and be like, can you come over tonight? And I'd be like, oh fine. It gets so much money for like 2 hours of sitting upstairs basically.
The big question though is whether you have a second job or not, it's about where your priority is. So if you tell your host family that you are an au pair and you don't have any other commitments at the time when you take the job, then that becomes your priority. And if you decide to get a second job, it better be a job that's flexible, where your boss knows that you're an au pair first. Whereas a lot of people will have another job first and then also work as an au pair in the evenings. So then that job is their precedence. But you have to be clear with both bosses about what job is your priority and what job, you know, you can be more flexible with. A lot of the people who have a second job during their au pair year is students, or not second job, but second commitment, I'd say. So people will be students at universities during the day and then au pairs at night. In that situation, you definitely need to tell your host family what your priority is, because while it is hard to be a student and you have a lot of responsibilities, I think, and it eats up your time, it's definitely possible to have both. But you have to pick a family that has certain hours that are accommodating for your student schedules, because you can't be picking the kids up from school at 4 when you're still in class. So there are families though that have different hours outside of the average au pair hours.
Other than being a student, some au pair jobs which you could get are babysitting, English teacher, looking for freelance work online, whether it's writing or social media or marketing, whatever your strengths are. Barista work. Yeah,
that's a little bit harder to find. I think that I got really lucky. I was really thankful to find my job. I kept going into cafes and restaurants with my resume. I had a good level of French at the time, so it was a bit easier.
There are lots of odd jobs which you can get. Like I walked a dog for a few months, which was really well paid until I lost it. Check out our worst mistakes video if you have any ideas.
Comment below! If you have any comments or questions, put them down below. Like and subscribe if you like what we are doing. And you can follow us on Twitter at
Au Pair Paris.
Or submit your story at
aupairinparis.com.
And that's all for now. Ciao!